Hi gang, welcome back to the Honest Latina Ever. Today's topic is going to be offensive stuff. It seems like every day in the media you come across things that are offending people. And pretty soon everything is going to offend them and then we won't have anything to talk about. Speaking about talking about, it seems like everything, something huge, like every time something huge happens, I'm just too drunk to be aware of it. Yes, last huge thing that happened was Mr. Trump became president, and that night I was sure that he might not have been, so I drank myself into a coma and woke up in the middle of the night to find out that he was indeed president. But I haven't done that for a long time, and I've been very good. And last night I had one of those nights where I just passed out really early and just had way too much to drink. I was trying to earn a t-shirt this month, or these last 2 months, for Jazzercise, and I really overdid it, and every ounce of me ached. And so instead of taking a pain pill like most people, or even aspirin, what did I do? I'm like, I am going to kill this pain with alcohol. So anyway, I just got totally shitty, fell asleep early, woke up in the middle of the night to, Fox News announcing that we had a past president that passed away. So anyway, I was up for that for a minute or two, only because I thought I was dreaming it, and I'm like, wait a minute, George Bush died? No, I'm dreaming this. And then I kept fighting with myself. Should I wake up and see if there's a TV or what's going on here? Because I hear something in my head. But no, it was actually true. And of course, I'm telling Bill about it, and I'm like, that's really sad. And he's like, well, he had Parkinson's and he was very old. I'm like, I know, but we have David freaking Rockefeller. I think he's 120 by now, who had multiple heart attacks, and he's still going. And I don't know why, because I don't think he has a significant other or anything like that, But I understand. I'm not feeling sad about Mr. Bush, because I know that he's with Barbara. I was really sad when she died. I cried, but now I'm not really as sad because at least he has her. Okay, so I'm okay with that. But anyway, we're going on about offensive stuff because I was reading something really super cool. I was on somebody's website, and it was talking about, it was something really sad, but it was cool. It was about a girl who died early, and she died of cancer, and she was 38. And instead of having other people say nice things about her after she died, one of those things called a eulogy, I got it. So anyway, instead of having people write one, before she died, because she knew she was going to die because she had cancer, she wrote her own eulogy. So it went something like this. It said that, she, the biggest thing that she regretted, it's gonna make me cry, the biggest thing that she regretted was ever hurting somebody's feelings. And that, I probably hurt people all the time because I'm an asshole, but I'm here to be funny. But if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. Now, I have 2 girls that are not talking to me, my daughters, and it's because I offended them, okay, or did something to offend them. Listen, cupcakes, I can offend you, but you can't offend me because I'm your mother. And I'll tell you, kids nowadays in this world think that they can call the shots and be disrespectful. And it's we never were allowed to be that way with our parents growing up. But it's a different world. I hear it. What I find offensive now is seeing some 2-year-old or 3-year-old telling their parents how it is. I'm thinking to myself, you need to take that little brat out of this restaurant and have a little talk in the parking lot where nobody can see, and let them know who's boss, because right now you're looking really foolish, and that's offensive. Today, because we're becoming so politically correct, it's incorrect. And I miss the comedians that were real comedians. I miss the Don Rickles. He was funny. I miss Johnny Carson. He was cute. I miss those kinds of funny people that can just, one would open up a newspaper and just start talking about current events, and he had a funny way of delivering things, like just his facial expressions and everything. And you know, these guys are gone, and now we're left with people like Michelle Wolf. And I'm thinking, like, Lord help us if people think that's funny. But I'd have to say, comedy, you know, isn't something that you go at and be obscenely like outrageous. Comedy is like an everyday life, you know, when you know, you find yourself laughing over like the silliest of things. Like, you know, example is, I have a grandma who is like, her birthday, Granny's birthday, wasn't on Trump's Day like I thought it was. It's on the same day as, you know, Mr. Bush's. And she's a Gemini. And I'm a Scorpio, and like, you know, we're a lot alike, but we're very different. Okay, so anyway, I'm a lot like my Grammy, who's like 95, and she's really feisty. Now, this woman lives in New York, and I remember years ago, I called her up and I was telling her that I was an activist, and I was like, you know, with Oregonians for Immigration Reform, and I was talking about illegal aliens. And Grandma's like, she's like, you know, I have a real problem with illegal aliens. And I go, you do? And she's like, not the Mexicans, you know, because they like to work. And you know, they're good, hardworking people like your mother. And I'm like, Grandma, my mom is Puerto Rican. She's not Mexican. And she's like, yeah, I have no problem with those people. I'm like, but Mom, and I'm trying to like explain to my grandmother that Puerto Rican and Mexican are different. But you know what? To her, us Hispanics are all the same thing, and you're not going to convince her otherwise. So I just got quiet, you know, and I let her go on to finish what she had to say. So she goes on to say, you know what I really hate? I'm just like, oh boy. She goes, I really hate these freaking fat-ass lazy Russians that live in my apartment complex. And you know, she's 95, so she can say that. And the reason is that they come over here, and she says they milk the services, they don't work. And she's all like, you know, like they take up way too much space on the bus, you know, and you know, and I got bumped one time trying to like get to my seat, you know, and she's all these fat asses with their kids and everything, and they don't work, and they get the food stamps. And you know, if you want to come to the country and work, that's one thing, but if you're going to come to the country to sponge, that's another thing. So she comes from a generation, that Generation X, you know, like that generation where people were migrants, and they come to the country and they work hard, and they make something of themselves, and everybody was in the same stupid boat. You know, the Irish, you know, what did they do? They worked on the railroads or something. They weren't really respected. What weren't they? Did I get it wrong? Okay, well, you know what? They worked on something, okay? But my grandpa dropped the frickin' O when he came to the country, okay? He did. He dropped the O. So, you know, instead of O'Sullivan, we're just Sullivan. Okay, so then I had the Puerto Rican family come, and they worked in the factories, you know, and so they came here, you know, and everybody, you know, the Italian guy, he came here too, and he did construction and had a lot of kids, you know, but anyway, but they all worked hard, okay? And so we are this great big fat ass melting pot of the country. And so anyway, what really gets Grandma's goat is that people just want to come over just to come over, like, you know, like they're coming over because they're like, you know, they feel entitled to come over and cut out a line. Like, Grandma will smack somebody upside the head if they cut in front of her. Like, she's old school, man. She'll let you have it, you know. She'll be like so offended. Nobody's offended, you know, about all these other people cutting in line coming across to this country. But I kid you not, if you're going to testify about illegal immigration, and a bunch of people cut in line, like these Mexicans who came over on the school buses, that offended me. Because, you know, those school buses were designed for school kids, not freaking illegal aliens, okay, that were cutting in line when I was trying to give my testimony. In fact, it got so bad that security had to come over, and I almost got kicked out of the Capitol because I was going to beat somebody's ass. And the governor actually had to come up with 2 lines because of the Honorary Barriqua was told him if I didn't get my own line that I was going to beat somebody's ass, okay? And guess what? Because of my outrageousness, I got to testify like first, okay? Yes, and I made the media because, you know what, I told those reporters if I didn't make their newspaper or their media and they didn't say good things about me, I would beat their asses too. And that's just how it went. So anyway, I got a little my grandma in me. She's still alive. She beat Mr. Bush. She's 95, and she was born on the same day as him. And there was something so spunky about Grammy, and it's so funny that she just brings tears to your eyes, you know, like in a funny way. She's just so feisty and beautiful and funny. But, you know, she's also a pain in the ass at times, but in a good way. She's a pain in the ass because, you know what, she likes things a certain way. She likes order. And if things get out of order, that just makes her, like, flustered. And I like order, too. And what really bothers me, and it's not a partisan thing. It shouldn't be, oh, a Republican or a Democratic thing. That's just when we ought to need to have a kumbaya and come together and say, this shit has to stop. You know, we need to have some order here. So, good fences make good neighbors. And I think even Mr. Bush would agree with that. And I feel like, you know, everybody is mourning the loss of this great man. I didn't agree with everything that he did or was about, but I'm going to put that aside today and just give credit due where credit due. He did some great things, and say my condolences with his family, and hope you can put your differences aside to be kind to our current president, because you know what? We don't like it when people are mean to us, so don't be mean to others. Just be kind. And with that said, have a great day. God bless.